situation, in fact, is getting worse and worse every moment. We used to have things deteriorating every few days. I mean, when it comes into healthcare facilities in terms of their closure or reducing their services at the beginning of this escalation. But nowadays, every minute, every hour, we are hearing that either full hospital or departments in a hospital is closing its services. There are 36 hospitals in the whole of Gaza. Around 24 or 25 of them in the north part of Gaza. And 11 are on the southern part, middle and southern part. The total bed capacity in these 36 hospitals is around 3,500 beds. But in fact, due to the increasing number of casualties, they have increased their bed capacity. Some of the hospitals, in fact, like a Shifa, it has 650 beds, but they increased the number of the beds to 900. And despite that, the bed capacity or the bed occupancy rate in most of the hospitals exceeded or reached, in many hospitals, 180%. Now, out of the 36 hospitals, 21 are not functioning. As I said, due to direct attacks or due to lack of fuel and lack of medical supplies or basic essential supplies like water. Out of 72 primary healthcare centers, there are around 51 not functioning due to the same reasons. There are reports of, spreading communicable diseases like upper respiratory tract infections within the displaced people. Around 80,000, around 50,000 of acute watery diarrhea. Some of them are bloody diarrhea. There is a report of starting to have chickenpox, around 1,000. Measles, suspected cases of measles. There are reports of having, mumps, as well as around 13,000 of skin infections, like scabies, few thousands of lice spreading among the normal people, and this is basically due to overcrowded shelters, as well as lack of basic requirements for hygiene, like water. Water now is a very challenging, thing. It used to be in such, emergency situation, 15 liters per day per person. The available water now is 1 to 3 liters per person per day. and most of that water is not really suitable for drinking or for cooking. I'm very much hurted. I am very much hurted and disappointed, to be honest. Now we are approaching 40 days of this escalation. And to be frank, the attacks on civilians, the attacks on healthcare facilities, the attacks on the staff, on the patients, on the displaced people in these shelters, the attacks of the infrastructure like water sanitation and other infrastructures like electricity, plants is really very heartbreaking.
We've had 20 inpatient deaths reported in the last 48 hours. Now, the numbers I have are very fluid. So, the situation may indeed be much worse. We know also that there's not enough food, that the staff are struggling to get any clean water because their water tanks were destroyed. But they are still doing everything they can to keep providing medical care for the desperately ill patients they have. So we actually still describe Shifa as a functioning hospital because of the heroic efforts the staff are making. Everyone in that hospital is in a really, really dire situation. All their lives are so threatened. So we as the world have to find a way to help them. The best way would be to stop the hostilities right now, focus on saving lives, not taking lives. It is currently the largest number of attacks in such a short period. And I hope I don't want to talk about records, but I hope this is the worst we ever see, because what we are also seeing is an increasing trend of many attacks on healthcare. We've seen this in Sudan, we've seen this in Ukraine. It seems to be that somehow the understanding that a hospital must be a safe haven, a place where people come to be cured, to be treated when they are in trouble, when they're in need, has been forgotten. And there seems to be a trend to want to turn them into places of death, despair, and danger, which should never happen.
The main oxygen station was bombed a few days ago by the Israelis. The other one had issues yesterday and stopped working. So yesterday we operated only life-threatening surgeries with no oxygen. And whoever knows anything basic about the medical team, no one can give general anesthesia for any patient without having oxygen supplies. Unfortunately, we have no oxygen supplies for all of our patients. We have been trying to deal with all the hospital issues with no oxygen. Dead bodies which have been in the hospital for more than 5 days now, more than 120 dead bodies within the hospital areas. With a very bad smell there, and we are sure all kinds of infections and diseases will be transmitted from that one. Today we had a little bit of rainy weather in the morning, and then the smell was really horrible. No one could even open a window or just walk around within the corridors with this very bad smell. Unfortunately, there is no approval from the Israelis for us to even bury the bodies within the hospital area, as we asked the ICRC many times. Today there was an initiative by the civilians within the hospital that the situation is horrible, and they started digging in within the hospital to bury the bodies on their own responsibilities without any arrangements by the Israeli side. Again, burying 120 bodies needs a lot of equipment. It can't be by hand. made by hand efforts, and single person effort. We lost 5 patients, 5 adult patients from the ICU yesterday. Especially this happened with the lack of oxygen supply to these patients, as we rely on the atmosphere, which has very minimal oxygen, instead of having 100% oxygen.
الآن نحن في منطقة تشاهدون الاحتلال قام باستهداف إسعاف في مدخل ما حدش يدخن هون في بنزين بتولعوها كلها. خذ يمين خذ يمين. علي هيك